But pivoting to, well, I don't know if it's exactly happier, but it's other news in pop culture. As I said, this is going to be something of a DC heavy kind of show. It's also going to be a short show. You probably noticed last week we didn't have as many topics as we usually do, and we have even less this week. And that's because throughout the week, usually Aged Boomer and I are sending articles back and forth to each other, and we get so many of them we have to trim them down. It's all been me, and so you're getting like half what you'd normally get. We're firing on half thrusters here, people, so glad you're sticking with us. Super appreciate all of you. But DC reportedly lost its, in inverted quotes, Kevin Feige-esque candidate due to Batgirl's cancellation. This one comes from CBR, so you can expect a little bit of a slant on this one, and not a Latino slant. Yeah, exactly. In an exclusive with Humberto Gonzalez from The Wrap, an insider at Warner Brothers Discovery revealed that producer Dan Lin took his name out of the mix of potential leaders for the DC film brand following the studio's shelving of the Leslie Grace starring Batgirl movie for HBO Max. You all might remember that Boomer and I talked about that a while back, and that Michael Keaton, whom we'll talk about in a little bit, had basically said, that was just a business decision, and he didn't say much more about it than that. Lynn was reportedly troubled by the studio's decision to not release the completed DC Extended Universe film for a tax write-off related to other abandoned projects following Warner Brothers' merger with Discovery. The newly minted conglomerate's CFO, Gunnar, I'll take a dive. Weidenfeld, okay, recently defended the studio's decision by stating that the news was blown out of proportion a little bit, while also reinforcing the studio's plans to spend a lot of money on future content. Let me stop right there for a second. We also talked about this too, and Midnight's Edge had a great piece about the cancellation of Batgirl as well. If you have something that's completely finished and in the can, and you dump it, you don't do it for istophobic reasons. You do it because you know it's going to be a stinker and it's going to hurt your brand. And we actually commended them for actually putting the brand above, well, let's just see what we can make on it, see if we can break even. Better to take a loss now than a bigger loss later. Since the completion of the WB Discovery merger, CEO David Zaslav has been on the search to fill DC Films leadership with someone to serve as a creative and strategic czar, similar to what Marvel has in Kevin Feige. Additionally, he wants someone who had the type of business background needed to keep all the different factions of DC working more harmoniously. That last part I've talked about here many, many times when I refer to DC and Warner Brothers not allowing their peas and carrots to mix on their plate. How they could have an animated series and a live-action TV series and a movie series, and they have absolutely no continuity with each other. And oftentimes it meant you couldn't use certain characters in certain things. For example, if they were using the Riddler and, some other Batman villain in the movies, they couldn't use them in the TV shows and the cartoons. So they would have to create other characters that were similar enough that fans would know who the character was supposed to be without actually being that person. So it's been a great lack of synergy, and I think David Zaslav is kind of hinting at trying to get back to that just a little bit. But the other thing, too, is this thing about similar to what Marvel has in Kevin Feige, and I've commented on that one a lot, too. Kevin Feige is not the reason they had a successful I mean, mega successful Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, it just wasn't. That was what's the bloke's name? That went over to the Mandalorian. Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau is the one that laid that groundwork, and Kevin Feige kind of came along and took credit for a lot of the latter stuff. And you notice that as soon as Favreau left, things started going downhill. That's when you got your Endgame. It's when you got your Captain Man-Hater, and you got all your all new, all different Marvel movies that have not been doing real well. All the decisions to move stuff to Disney Plus and streaming, day and date, all that sort of thing. Talk to Valiant Renegade about that. He's got much better insights on that. But we're not talking Marvel. We're talking DC. So I've kind of poo-pooed what CBR is saying here and said it's slanted. What's my take on it? My take on it is you don't take your name out of the running, as they put it, unless there's something else going on here. Because basically he's turning down a very big paycheck with a lot of prestige. So either Zaslav was saying, yeah, maybe you're not the guy for the job, or maybe he's looking at some other things going on behind the scenes going, this is not going well. Probably better not to be a part of it. Although that does raise the question, what is going on at DC? Honestly, haven't got a clue. We'll talk a little bit more about it with the next segment, but yeah. So no more Dan Lim. And although it wasn't included in my notes, so Netter can't drop the link for this one, but Mr. Match, you know what? What I can do is, since Mr. Matchstick dropped it to me in a direct message, I can just go and pull that up. But he did it in MeWe, which I don't have open right now. So bear with me a second.
MeWe.
Technical difficulties beyond my control.
Nah, it's just adjusting.
Yep.
We adjust, we adapt.
Let's see here. Okay. So this one is from, and I'm not going to drop the link. I'm just going to suggest that you look it up for yourself. But apparently, what's his name? Lex Luthor-looking guy, Michael Bendis, is actually now leaving DC Comics. Apparently, as they cancel the most recent Son of Kal-El series after 8 issues, and they're beginning a new mini-series about Jonathan Kent. Apparently, Bendis is leaving. I had thought that he was gone long before now. That just shows how much I've been paying attention to DC Comics lately, because honestly, don't give a crap. They haven't been doing anything decent in a very, very long time. But just to mention, that's all I know about it. All I can say about that is good riddance. He is hugely responsible for the recent downfall in DC Comics. Certainly not single-handedly. There's a lot of horrible cooks spoiling that broth over there. But yeah, we'll see. Let me real quick check